welcome to my channel. I'm TheSereneSimmer, or you can call me Mary Beth. Today we're doing a speed build of a little pool in Granite Falls that is quite run down. The whole story behind this pool is that it was once something that you had to go to if you were in Granite Falls. Everybody loved it, and now it's kind of uncared for. I imagine it's in a Granite Falls that now has way more modern buildings, and you could stay in it's like a mix, so you could stay in a really expensive lodge with state-of-the-art supplies, or you could stay in a cabin that creaks every time you take a step, and stuff like this. I imagine it's gotten kind of forgotten about, apart from for the people that it used to be one of their favourite parts of their vacation, and now they come with their children and they swim in the green water with the plants and the nostalgia kind of carries them through. It's not a pool that you'd want to swim in real life. Possibly you'd match the river behind it is cleaner, but you can't swim in those in the Granite Falls. So I thought a pool was the perfect summer activity and something Granite Falls needs, because there's not a lot to do here, and I find that it breaks the immersion if you go on vacation to Granite Falls and then you travel somewhere else. It's also not available to visit unless you're on vacation, so I think it kind of makes it special. But I think it could also work in places like what's it called? Copperdale, because that's very woody as well, or I mean with a few changes maybe Salvadorada, or with a few changes really anywhere. But yes, I would not personally swim in this pool, which is not a great opening, but I think it's very cute, and I'm imagining siblings who grew up together, like going on vacation here, and they'd sneak out of their cabin in the middle of the night and run over to the pool to join their friends, and now they come back with their own children and they bring them to the pool and they just act like children again, and they have the best time reliving memories, and their kids are probably a bit confused because who would want to swim in green water, but actually they love it, and the kids will get involved, and I imagine it's a real family space that so many people love, and you could spend hours and hours just relaxing by the pool, or the kids can relax by the pool while the dad goes hiking or the mum fishes or something. And that's part of the reason I love Granite Falls so much, is because there's a lot of outdoorsy things to do. And I think the aim of this build was to enhance that, to give your child something to do, because I don't really know any kids who would just want to walk all day, whereas I feel like adults are more likely to want to do that. They'll be the ones who want to go out and fish, and the kids might get bored. So I added some things for kids, younger children, like toddlers. There's some toddler pools. So yeah, this main building has a shower room, a bathroom, a sort of storage hall type thing, and a kitchen. It's very dirty, it's pretty grimy, and then the other building is just 2 changing rooms. I imagine them to be boy and girl, but then again, you can do whatever you want. It could be child and adult, I'm not sure, but I wanted it to feel, I don't know, had a very specific aesthetic in my mind, almost summer camp. I saw the thumbnail of, I hope I'm saying this right, Aloe Sims, her video, and she was building a summer camp, and I hadn't watched it when I was building this, but I really wanted that sort of wooden and childhood memories and forest. So, but yeah, it's fallen into disrepair now. I think maybe the newest stuff's kind of come along and pushed it out of the way. So there are cracks in the stone floor, and the toilets probably not clean and the kitchen is manned like once a year. there's a little serving hutch I added, and I imagine that has like staff once on the hottest day and then they forget about it just to keep it running. And maybe people come and look after it rather than whoever runs Granite Falls. I feel like it's a very cherished place, and that's the vibe I wanted to go for. Like, yes, it's grimy, but it's not grungy in a sort of gross way. It's grungy in a, this has been loved, like a well-read book, you know. It's brown and folded, but it's still very good, and you can tell it's been loved, and that makes it even more special. So I'm adding a lot of plants, try and fit it in with Granite Falls. I had a few of them over the edge, because I find that helps my builds sort of blend in more with the surroundings. Save reminder, don't forget to save. I was bored with myself when I saw how much I saved, because it was not a lot. Tips for landscaping if you're ever stuck, because I was one of those people who, I mean, I'm not the best at it by any means, but I'm better than I was. So terrain paint helps a lot, especially layering it. I like to do like a layer around the edges of stones and paths and things, and that really helps. And to add rocks, I don't know why, but rocks make it look so much more real, and use the same ones throughout the build, especially if it's a big one. Right now I'm in debug. That is a good way to find plants that will fit, if you didn't already know, because they are already from the environment. If you filter by the pack, you'll get the stuff that is off the lot, that's not normally in the catalogue. And it's also free, which is great for start times. I'll put the cheats on the screen now so that you can you know how to access it yourself. But yeah, so I mean, I would love to hear your thoughts. This is my, like I said, this is my first voiceover, so please tell me what I did good, what I can improve on. It's certainly not my best voiceover. It's my first one, so I'm very an anxious person, so, but I'm determined to try. If you are watching this video, I would love to hear your thoughts, or just how you're doing today. I'm new to this whole YouTube thing, and I really want to connect and grow this channel to create somewhere that I love uploading to, and I want people love to come to. I've never been to a place like this, so if it's highly unrealistic, my apologies. But also, I think different places must do things differently, surely. And like I said, you wouldn't want to go here in real life. In real life, this would probably be a major health violation, and they might have to shut it down. But then that's what I think the community of this pool is like, and I imagine people would still show up, despite the fact that officials and the park rangers say no. The loyalty of this pool, I'm imagining, is the type of people who would still come even if a new pool was built. They'd be here, and I imagine it's so like one of those places that you just lose track of time, and people, I think I added a little grill, and so like you get a dad who just grills, and you get a mum who like knows all the kids that are there, and she's taking them in the kiddie pool, and maybe an older couple who used to bring their kids here, and they clean up, or they man the kitchen on days where the staff aren't. So I think this could be a neighborhood pool as well. You could kind of change it. It might go well next to like a apartment building, because if you have like a rural one, because I don't know, I was building it, I was imagining all the different types of Sims that would come to this place, and I think it'd be so wholesome. So I have made it run down. Make sure your Sims have all their shots before they come. Here I am adding all the plants. it's more of a pond than a pool, but I don't know, that could be fun to swim in also. So yeah, do you like taking your Sims to Granite Falls, or do you prefer, do you ever take your Sims on vacation? I take my Sims on vacation a lot. I think because it's a nice way to get off the home lot without having to constantly go through loading screens, because going to the park once a week is like really nice in theory, but then you have to sit through a loading screen, or if you go every time to school, sometimes it just gets a bit stale. I normally don't mind the loading screens, but sometimes you just want your Sims to stay at home, you want them to stay together, and so that's part of the reason I love Granite Falls, is because you can go camping and you have access to outdoor bathrooms and fishing and hiking and cloud gazing, and your toddler Sims can just bring toys and play, or there's loads of options on the tent as well. I built this after filming my Nature's Calling event playthrough, and I think that really got me in a summery vibe. That's a really good event. I like the things that you have to do, and I think it really fits the vibe. I'm not sure about the stuff you get. It's nice, but I feel like it's kind of niche. But I suppose the whole new pack is kind of, if you don't like fairies, then you're not gonna like Enchanted by Nature, are you? So it fits the vibe very well, and I think it's got me excited to play it. Part 2 of that will be up on my channel soon when the other week gets released, because I'm doing it 2 by 2 weeks. So yeah, here I am just adding details. I wanted it to feel very lived in. These chairs are messy and an array of things. This room here is a storage room, and I put so many random things in there I can't even remember. I know I put chairs. I like stacked up plastic chairs. It might have even been dog food. Maybe I got rid of that. Those lights that I'm placing around right now are debug lights, but they still light up when it's night. Do you see what I mean? It really, really fits the vibe. It really makes it seem like it fits in Granite Falls. But yeah, I added some picnic tables because, can you imagine coming to lunch by this pool with all the sounds of Granite Falls and all of the sounds of the children enjoying themselves, and maybe, because right behind this lot is the Riverside Retreat one, there's a stream, so you got like dance. Oh, that's a horse ball that I added, because I think every time I see it I always mistake it like at first glance for one of those pool balls. Oh yeah, that's the other things I added for kids as well. I added hopscotch and one of those marble rings, and I think I might have added some toys here and there, but toddlers didn't have to bring their own. I added dog bowls as well, and lots of towels. It's kind of in a half used state, like it's in the middle of summer and people have been going, and maybe all the people that are there when you load into the lot have been enjoying themselves, and no one minds if it's messy. It's already messy, but that's its charm. So I'm adding a lot of spiderwares, because who's cleaning this place? I mean, maybe people who come here once a year, but I don't think anyone who actually works here is. Which, I don't know. I mean, in real life they'd have to, right? I must say I also made a few changes off camera. This lot is available to download on my gallery at TheSereneSimmer. But I did change a few things, minor things, but I added ceiling fans right at the end, and that's included, but I shrunk them down after I filmed, because when I was taking my screenshots, I realised they were very, very low. I always find that with fans. Does anybody else? If you have like the short walls, or even the middle walls, I think it makes it look like your Sim's about to be decapitated every time you walk in a room. So I shrunk them down. I also added ceiling paint. That's something I always forget. Still fairly new. I'm just raising those chairs up with the 9 key, with move objects on. And I also changed no, I didn't change anything else, I don't think. So yes, feel free to download it. It's got no custom content. I wanted it to be accessible. One thing I think you could do if you have the tool mod is put a whole bunch of trees around it. If your PC can handle it, I always want more trees. But I think Granite Falls, you can't have too many trees in Granite Falls, surely. Maybe you can, but I will refuse to believe that. So yeah, there's like stuff like laundry on the floor, and that's the storage room. It's got like newspapers, and in the kitchen I think there's so many random things. I left the counter free, I believe, so that your Sims could actually come and cook, because there's a stove and a mini fridge. So besides from barbecuing, I think your Sims can come here and make, I'll check before I load it, but I'm pretty sure they can come and make a whole dinner. That little sign I imagine has like the ice creams on it, or maybe, I don't know, would they serve? I suppose they could serve hamburgers. It's really up for interpretation. And I think these locker rooms are identical. Yep. Apart from the clutter, I did add some random things here and there to make it look like they'd actually been used, because otherwise they were going to feel very sterile and blank. So there's like toys under the benches. The furthest one I imagine to be the women's. Don't know why. It's just what. But I mean, you can use it either, or like I said, you could split them by age groups. But I did add some towels, and I think I added some baby things in this one. It's like a dad was getting his kid. Yeah, there's some nappies. A dad getting his kid ready to go and play in the pool. One animation I think could be adorable if they added is the ability to like hold infants over the water. I don't think they would do that. I imagine it's pretty difficult, but if they could hold them above the water and then splash their feet, kind of like how they do in the ocean. You can hold them, I think. Now I'm worried if I'm remembering that wrong. Yeah, and now I'm just making it look very overgrown. It's almost finished. It's a very small build, but I put lots of details in it, which is why I decided to make it a speed build, because it would have been very boring to watch me going through. I thought about doing a long play, and then I realised it would be very boring to just watch me go through debug again and again and again and try and find all these plants and place down the same patch of brambles. I didn't realise, but these signs don't actually have ones for like men and women, so I used these signs. And we'll imagine that's Simlish. Who knows what it's actually Simlish for. Yeah. Please let me know what you think. Please let me know if my voiceover is good. I rehearsed this a bajillion times and I could never get it how I wanted. So any feedback, positive, negative, just constructive criticism, that would be great. I'd love to know what kind of things you want to see next as well. If you want more speed builds or long plays, or I was thinking about doing a long play with some commentary, or maybe just a normal let's play, something like that. Yeah, I'd love to hear it, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your day or night or wherever you're watching this, and I'll see you next time.